Hi, today is the 20th and I have kind of good news for you. It means that you only have to hear me talking about the Inkvent calendar for another 5 days or another 4 days and also this present video. Doesn't matter. So I think you'll be happy for that because this is going to an end. It is a lot of trouble from my side, but lots of fun, and I hope you are enjoying this also. And I will show you now the ink, and we are close to getting to the one that we want more, I would say. That is the 25 that has the big size, the full size bottle. And I just think, and if I prefer one of those little ones that are limited edition and we will not be able to find them anymore. So I hope my favorite will be the 25th. It's better that way. So let's see, the door 20 has inside ink with sheen. I'm seeing that now, and oops, the ink is called Midnight Hour and it has sheen, as I told you before. And Midnight Hour is a kind of a name that I like because I think midnight is a great time and it is the time when I publish most of my videos, a quarter past midnight, and I also think that colors with this kind of name remind me of a very dark blue-black, and I really enjoy that. So I'll stop the video now and I'll be back soon. Bye. Here I am as promised, and let's look at this Midnight Hour. And it is a blue ink with a very dark sheen and also a reddish, black and reddish sheen. To go with this ink, I decided to use a pen that doesn't go specifically with this ink. But this kind of reflection reminds me of some metal thing, I don't know, some metal factory because of the blacks and the red sheen. So I decided to use this Diplomat Aero Factory, which is a pen that is made of raw aluminum, and it is a pen that looks great and writes very well. I really like this pen. So this is what I decided to use. About this ink, you have this swatch and we have the chromatography. I would say that this kind of chromatography is not much expected of an ink like that. You can see there is a base that is slightly water resistant. Most of the color is washed away, although the blue is not that easily washed away, so it stays on paper during all this area. And then the fringe is made of green. So this is a more complex ink because it has mostly two colors. One of them is slightly water resistant, only slightly. Now we have just to show you, I don't have many blue inks. At least I don't have many blue inks that are not special editions, so I'm using regular ones because I think it's easier for you to see, although they are more on the turquoise side, as I showed you before. We have here the Leonardo Turquese Havai and the Waterman South Sea Blue, and this is a much duller blue. Now the Inkvent calendar had 4 blue inks, and we have these. This is Festive Cheer, which is also a dull blue but more on the violet side. It has some sheen there, also a blackish sheen, but this one is very heavy. Then you have Jack Frost with also a very heavy sheen, and this one has shimmer, but this is a red sheen. Then we have the Polar Glow also with a red and blackish sheen, and I would say this is the most similar one. And then we have this, the blue peppermint, which has lots of shimmer. So this ink is not really that similar to any other, and if I would say the most similar ones would be those two, but this is much darker. And so this is it, the comparison with the previous blue inks of this calendar. Now let's take a look at the paper, and we have here the Moleskine paper, the Oxford optic paper, and the Navigator copy paper. And this is a very dark blue ink. I chose a pen that I really like, but it has a fine nib that is a real fine, so the sheen is not that visible on these papers and with this pen. And here on the Moleskine paper, I don't really even see much of shading, so it becomes an interesting ink there. No bleed through, so it works fine. On the copy paper, yes, it works perfectly also. There is only some, but that is on the swatch where I passed too many times. Let's just look for some sheen, putting them to light, and I don't see any sheen and very little shading. But once again, it may be a problem of the kind of nib that I chose. And here on the darker side of the swatch you may see some sheen, but not much, and you can see better line variation, but it is such a dark blue that it is almost a black. So I would say that this ink is not that interesting, although it has a heavy sheen, but the sheen would need a very broad nib to be seen, and a black sheen on the blue ink, although the idea is very interesting, I don't know if it will stand out really in a paper unless you use almost a brush to write with. I'm not that excited with blue inks. If I use blue, I would prefer to use turquoise, but it will be interesting for some because there are people that really like to write the everyday writing in blue. So we have here the Rhodia dot pad, the same kind of properties that you may see on the Oxford paper. Only slight shading, but I can't really see the sheen, although I understood that the Rhodia paper is very similar to the Oxford paper, but they are not really the same kind of... they don't show the sheen the same way. The Oxford shows better the sheen, although this sheen is on the Rhodia paper. But I have to say that this is not obtained by writing. This is obtained by putting a drop of ink on top of the paper and then spreading it with a knife. Then we have here the drying times. It's about 25 seconds, not quick drying ink, but not too slow also. And here you can perfectly see what I meant with this line, this kind of water resistance, and then the color that is left. Here you can see the shades of the color that was smeared, and you have the light blue lines there that show us the previous writing. And I find this kind of characteristic quite nice. I'm not looking for a completely water-resistant ink, waterproof ink, but I like when you can still see even if you have an accident on your paper. Now let's see the pen writing. And the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And this is it. This is this pen. fine nib, so not we can't get a lot of the characteristics of the ink, but I don't think the characteristics by themselves are that evident when you write with it on paper. If you use a medium to dark blue with dark sheen, maybe it's not that visible. But please let me know your opinion. Let me know if there is any similar ink that has this kind of characteristic, if this should be included on the regular lineup of Diamine, and which of these blues do you prefer? Which are the most interesting? The day 1, day 4, day 14, 15 or 20? Which one is your favorite? And this is all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like it, of course. And we'll be back tomorrow. But before that, I just would like to ask you an extra question. We are now at 20 inks. So from these 20 inks, which one is your favorite? We are going to the final 5. But from all these, which is your favorite ink so far? I think there are quite nice inks here, and some of them are blue, but what is your opinion? So, we'll meet again tomorrow. Bye.